Good morning, everyone. We will wait for one more minute and then we will start with the session.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Okay, we will start with the session. So, good morning, everyone. We will start with what we had discussed yesterday. So, instead of me discussing what we have discussed yesterday, if anyone of you can discuss what we had discussed yesterday. Yes, anyone? Or what I'll do is, I'll just randomly ask someone to just give a brief about what we had discussed yesterday. Uh, Ajay Marwa, Ajay Kumar Marwa. You can unmute yourself and in brief, just discuss what we had discussed yesterday. It's Ajay Kumar Marwa. Okay, I think he is having some issues. Okay, no problem. Anyone of you who would like to just sum up what we had discussed yesterday in brief? Okay, no problem. We don't have enough time. So we will not waste time. I assume that all are doing PG and everyone is sincere enough that you are sincerely attending the lectures, right? So that is my assumption. So yesterday we had discussed about the training and development of we started the discussion with the proceedings of the meetings, how they are to be saved, how they are to be noted, that we had discussed. Then we started, then we discussed about training and development of the directors or the board members. And then we discussed about the performance evaluation. So we discussed the first evaluation part of all the directors, how they are to be individually evaluated, how ratings are to be given to the directors. There is a self evaluation as well as there is a evaluation of all the other board directors of one director, that we had discussed. We had also discussed that rating should be ranging between 1 to 5. If a person gets a rating on a particular point or on a particular statement, say he is getting a rating of 5, that means he was very good for that particular point. And if the director is getting say 1 or 2 ratings, we can say that the director was not doing his performing his role or responsibility well. That is why the rating is 1 or 2. So 1 or 2 means minus rating, and 5 4 or 5 means positive or plus rating. So that we had discussed. We had discussed the directors performance evaluation, how it is to be done. Now we will be discussing how the evaluation of the board is done. Evaluation of board of director is done. Again, the process is simple. A evaluation sheet is prepared. In that evaluation sheet, 1 to 5 rating is there, and some statements are written, and the board members have to give their ratings to that particular statement or that particular point. What statements of individual director we had discussed yesterday. We will be taking up what are the points or what are the statements which are mentioned in evaluation sheet, performance evaluation sheet of the directors. So first point which can be included, let me tell you once again that these are just guidelines provided by the law under Companies Act 2013. It is not expected that each and every organization which is listed shall prepare the evaluation sheet on the same points or on the same statements. It can vary. It is just a guideline, it is just a model. Based on this model or based on these guidelines, a company can prepare its own evaluation sheet. Now, first statement which can be included in the evaluation sheet of the board of director can be whether board has diversity of experience and appropriate composition. Now, we had already discussed that the benefits of diversity of board, as well as that it is made mandatory by law that board has to implement diversity in its composition. So first statement where all the directors of the board have to give rating to the board, entire board evaluation, then first statement can be whether board has diversity of experience and appropriate composition. Now, if 10 directors are there in the board of directors, one may feel that yes, to the full extent, diversity is being practiced and implemented, and the composition is as per law. That particular person will give, say, 5 rating 5 to this particular statement. Whereas there can be a director who feels that there is a scope for improvement in the implementation of diversity. That particular person can give, say, 3 or 4 rating to a particular statement. Once all the evaluation sheets are complete, then a discussion can be made by the entire board of directors on what they have evaluated as a team about the performance of their board. So that was the first uh, statement or point. Second point can be whether board monitors the corporate governance laws and regulations which are there in various laws. Then next can be whether board demonstrates values, integrity, and ethics in its working or not. That can be the third point, where each and every director has to give a rating, whatever he or she feels about that particular statement. Rating can be 5, rating can be 1. Next statement or point which can be included in the evaluation sheet can be whether board dedicates appropriate time and resources needed to execute their responsibilities. Now, this is regarded as one of the most important points, that whether enough time is devoted by the board and whether whatever resources are required to implement the decisions of the board in the company, whether the resources are arranged or whether these resources are provided to the company or not. That can be another statement on which the ratings can be given by all the directors who are evaluating the board performance in general. Next is whether agenda related information are circulated in advance to the board directors, and whether sufficient time is given to the directors to study the information related to agenda points. Now, 2 days back, we were discussing about how the agenda is to be prepared, how it is to be mailed, or how it is to be posted to the directors. So before 7 days, we had discussed that at least 7 days should be given to the directors from the date of the meeting. So here also the same thing is whether enough time is given to the director to go through the agenda and prepare information related to the agenda. If say 7 days are given, 10 days are given, or 12 days or 15 days are given, we can say that this is the enough time where the agenda points can be studied by the directors, as well as they can prepare information related to those agenda points which can be discussed in the coming meeting at the board of directors. So that can be one statement where ratings can be given. If very short notice is given, always a short notice is given, or if we can say that 7 days are given but the related information is not shared quickly, that 7 days before the notice was delivered to the address of the director, but he was not provided with the related information wherein he could not prepare his say prepare for the discussions to be taken place at the time of meeting. So both are very crucial. One, that you are giving them agenda points, and the second one is that you are giving the related information also, so that they can prepare their discussions on that basis or prepare their information on that basis. So that can be one more agenda point, evaluation point. Next important statement or point which can be included in the evaluation sheet can be whether the chairman encourages the board members to come up with their inputs, views, or suggestions. Again, very important. If the chairman is, say, having leadership skills or a democratic type of leadership quality, then he will definitely create an environment or provide an environment at the meeting where each and every director is encouraged to suggest or to put forth his views on a particular matter, and later on unanimous decision or a decision can be taken by majority. Decision is not taken by single-handedly by the chairman himself or herself. So that can be the another statement. Next statement can be whether proper minutes are maintained for each meeting. Yesterday only we had discussed how minutes of the meeting are to be maintained, are to be registered. So that is another statement, whether the board is maintaining proper minutes of meeting of each of its meeting. And another important, or we can say the last point, which can be included in the statement of which can be included as a statement in the evaluation sheet, can be whether board oversee the role and authority of auditors and whether they evaluate their performance. Now, in corporate governance, from the first lecture, we are saying that auditors and independent directors play a very vital role. If auditors are not given enough freedom or authority to do their work, there will be chances of financial irregularity in the company dealings. If they are provided enough authority and freedom to carry out their functions or role and responsibility, we can say or we can expect less irregularities or no irregularities, because they are not fully under control or under pressure of the company. They are independent. They are given that particular authority that you complete this task. If you find any loopholes in the statements or in the audit, if you come across any loopholes, please bring it to the notice of the board, and board will take a note of it and it will try to overcome those loopholes. So that is one more important statement. So these were the statements which can be included when evaluation of the entire board is done. Now, who does the evaluation? When we talk about the board evaluation, the job of doing evaluation is of the entire board. Separate evaluation sheets are prepared or filled up by each and every director. These sheets are collected, these sheets are analyzed, and the discussion takes place that where improvement is required. So evaluation of performance of the board of director is done by the entire board. Now, the last evaluation which we will be discussing is the evaluation of independent directors. Now, it is expected that each and every independent director shall be evaluated by all the other directors of the board, but not by himself or herself. Now, here, self-evaluation is not there. When we talked about yesterday's evaluation of all the directors, it included everyone. But now we are talking about only independent directors. And when it comes to independent director, their performance is to be evaluated by the entire board. And only the director whose performance is being evaluated, he is not given a chance to do his self-evaluation. Now again, here also the same criterias are there, same rating structure can be implemented, and here also the statements should be there, and statements or points whichever are mentioned in the evaluation sheets are to be given rating from 1 to 5. Again, it is not essential that always the rating has to be in the range of 1 to 5, but it is recommended. It is not mandatory, but it is recommended that it should be in the range of 1 to 5. It can be more also. Now, some of the statements which can be included in the evaluation sheet of the independent directors that we will be discussing now. First can be whether the independent director upholds ethical standards and ethical practices of the company. Here, all the other directors who are evaluating his or her performance, they will be marking him, they will be rating him. If they feel, yes, he is always upholding ethical practices and ethical standards of the company, then they may rate him 5 or 4. If they feel, no, he is not into ethical practices, then they may rate him 1 or 2 also. Now, based on the evaluation only, the director's future tenure will depend. Whether he will be there in the organization as an independent director or he will not be there as an independent director next year, it all depends on his performance evaluation report of the board. Now, the next statement which can be included in the evaluation sheet of the independent director is whether independent director exercises his or her responsibilities in the interest of the company. So whatever his role or whatever his responsibilities are, whether he is exercising those roles and responsibilities to the best of the interest of the company or not. If he is exercising in the best interest of the company, yes, his ratings will be better. If not, ratings will be less. Next can be whether the independent director devotes sufficient time and attention to his or her professional obligations. Professional obligations means professional responsibilities. So enough time. If he is devoting enough time, more rating; less time, less rating. Next important statement can be whether independent director assists company in implementing the best corporate governance practices. Now, why independent directors are included in the board? Because it is expected that these people are expert in their field and they will be giving good suggestions to the board so that which can be implemented in the company and which will be favorable for the company, which will be better for the company's group. So whether the independent director is giving such kind of suggestion which is resulting in better performance for the company or which is resulting in bettering the corporate governance for the company. If yes, more score; if less, less score. So these are some of the statements which we can say can be included in the evaluation sheet of the independent director. Again, the entire evaluation sheets are filled up by the complete board. They are analyzed and then it is taken up for discussion in the board of directors meeting, and there they decide upon the uh, decision whether to continue with the particular independent director or to discontinue the services of that particular independent director. So this is how the performance evaluation of directors, of the entire board and of the independent directors can be done. Now we will move on to another important point, which is called as separation of chairman and CEO. Or you might have come across a typical word, a short form, which is called as CMD. Now, CMD stands for, it is very simple, everyone is aware of. CMD stands for Chairman and Managing Director. Now, when we talk about CMD, it indicates that chairman is of the board and managing director is of the company. So one person is holding two positions. Now, is it legal or is it illegal? So far, it is very much legal that one person can hold both the position, and that position is called as CMD. He is chairman and managing director. He is chairman of the board and he is managing director of the company. If we talk about our Indian companies, we can say the statistics shows that around 70 to 80% of companies, they are implementing a particular concept of CMD, that one man controlling the board as well as the organization, and that is called as CMD. Now here, as we had discussed when we were discussing initially in the first unit, when we were discussing various committees, that why the committee is appointed, why it is so that after say every 5 years, after every 2 years, after every 3 years, or after whenever the government feels, whenever the SEBI feels, they constitute a committee to suggest more improvements in the existing corporate governance structure in India. Because the business is evolving, the business environment of the world is evolving, is changing. To cope up with the changing environment, it is essential that we also have this similar kind of environment which is there in the other countries, because now it's an open market, open world. So we have to practice we have to practice certain practices which are very common in other countries also. We cannot practice a practice which is practiced only in our country and not in other countries. If such thing happens, then there is difficulty in doing business with some other countries. Now, often you might have heard our government is also talking about ease of doing business. Now, what is ease of doing business? So government is making the regulations or rules or laws of doing business so simple, or which can match with the regulations of the other countries. If such thing happens, we can expect more investment from the other countries also, businesses of other countries also, and that is called as ease of doing business. Just to keep in that particular thing in mind, the government or the SEBI, Securities and Exchange Bureau, they always after some time constitute committees which can come up with certain suggestions which will improve the corporate governance in the organization. We have also discussed during the first lecture, if the corporate governance is good, automatically the image of the company becomes good, and it attracts more investors, not only local but also from foreign. That we had already discussed. Now, when we are talking about separation of power in India, we all know that 70 to 80% of the companies are practicing a concept where they are controlling the board. One person is controlling the board, and the same person is controlling the company. Now, same procedure or same concept was followed in the other countries also. In United States of America, around 2007, as the statistics says, 60 or more than 60% of the their big companies, or we can say top 500 companies, were having the same position. Same position means one person holding the say both the positions, chairman as well as the managing director. But later on, a committee was set up by the government of USA, and they recommended that both the roles should be separated. Two persons will be there. One person will be donning the cap of chairman, and the other person will wear the shoes of CEO. So in 2019, around 40% of the 40% of company have changed to the policy, and now more than 60 to 70% of companies, top 500 companies of USA, are implementing this concept of separation of power. They are having two people, one is chairman and the another as managing director. So around 60 to 70% of top US companies are uh, implementing this particular concept of separation of power. Now, in India, it was realized that whether we can also have this particular situation in our companies. Keeping in this thing in mind, on June 2017, SEBI constituted a committee under the chairmanship of Mr. Uday Kotak, which is also known as Kotak Committee. The main objective of constituting this committee was to suggest if India or Indian companies, Indian top companies rather, can implement this concept of separation of power at the center. That separate person should be holding position of chairman and another person should be holding the position of CEO or managing director. So no CMD, one will be chairman and another person will be the managing director. The committee studied the situation. The committee studied the corporate governance also of various companies and they came up with a conclusion. They came up with certain recommendations that if separation of power is implemented in the top companies of the India, top companies of India, then there will be many benefits. Now, what those benefits will be, they had listed down the benefits also. Now, first benefit which they had listed down was that it will ensure that the board acts independently. Now, Kotak committee realized that if one person is controlling the board and the company, it is not always expected that there will be independent decisions or there will be democratic type of decisions. There can be a democratic environment, but the decisions of the company and decisions of the board will be taken single-handedly because only one person is holding both the positions. So what they suggested is that first benefit will be it will ensure that the board of major companies act independently. They will not be dependent on one person only. They will act independently. Second benefit which they listed down is, the committee listed down is, that it will avoid the risk of concentrating authority in a single individual. Now, there is always a risk of authority if it is concentrated in the hands of one person. Same person is chairman, same person is managing director. If two different persons are there, chairman is different and managing director is different, now then we can expect that there will be no no concentration of power in single individual because separate persons are holding two major positions. One is managing director, the other one is chairman of the board. So chairman of the board may come up with certain suggestions, certain decisions which will be implemented by the managing director of the company. Third suggestion or third benefit which they cited was offers separation of power, offers role clarity without overlap. Managing director will be knowing what his roles are and what are his limitations, where, and chairman will also come to know that what are his authorities, what are his roles, what are his responsibilities. So there will be no overlap of authority. Next benefit which the committee cited is reducing the time commitment leading to focused decisions. Reducing the time commitment. Now, one person holding two positions, it becomes very difficult for him to devote enough time to the company also and to the board also. So he may not be in a position to give enough time either to the board or to the organization. But if two different people are there, then we can expect that yes, chairman is supposed to devote all his time to the board governance only, and the managing director is supposed to devote all his time to the managing of the company day-to-day activities. So that is reducing time commitment. Next benefit which it suggested is choosing the right fit for the role rather than clubbing the skills. It will help the organization to choose right fit for each role, and rather than clubbing the skills. Clubbing the skills means you are clubbing the skills of managing director and chairman. Both the skills can be different. For chairman, skills are different. For managing director, skills can be different. So if two different separate people are appointed for two separate roles, they will be able to perform better than expecting that one person will be doing the role of managing director when he is there in the organization very effectively, and same effectiveness will be shown in when he will be wearing the shoes of chairman of the board of directors. And the last important benefit which was suggested by the Kotak committee was that it would make the board atmosphere more conducive to debate. If chairman is different and if managing director is different, then it will create more conducive environment for deliberations, for fruitful discussions. That these were some of the recommendations of the Kotak committee. In September 2019, SEBI accepted some of the some of the recommendations of the committee, and it forwarded to the government the list of recommendations which can be made mandatory with the help of laws. And the government gave a deadline that on 1st of April 2020, certain recommendations of